A while ago, I made a video where I looked at a bunch of weird Aussie cartoons from my childhood.
That's so not gonna happen.
Don't lose your way.
Which you guys really seem to like. A bit too much, actually. And guess what? I found some more, because as if I could get through all this in one video. So guess what we're doing in this video? Yep, we're looking at some more weird Australian cartoons. You already read the title, let's just go. By the way, though I may be poking fun at everything I cover in this video, it all comes from a place of love. I have no hate left to give. We already talked about Erky Koki. What I forgot to mention in my previous video was that, as we all know, all Australians live in the outback upside down, and the only material they have to make these shows with are the skin of a kangaroo and a boomerang, which does explain the quality of some of these cartoons. It's okay, I'm allowed to make these jokes, I'm Australian. But you know what I can't make? A friggin' shrimp on the Barbie joke.
Shut up! Shut the fuck up! It was a joke!
Anyway, let's just go. Starting off strong with a show called The Day My Butt Went Psycho, based off the book series of the same name that I am convinced was made by a 3-year-old who only just learnt what butts were. No, I'm kidding, there's a bit more to this story. Andy Griffiths is a best-selling Australian author who wrote a bunch of kids' books with humour suitable to its target audience. That being butt jokes. While nowadays he makes money instead of books, some of his older series were a favourite of mine as a kid, while some of his others were real stinkers. Get it? This show is nothing like the books, at least so I've been told. No, I haven't read the books and I never will. Look at the friggin' cover. I didn't grow up with this one. It's fairly recent compared to some of the other stuff I'm going to talk about in this video. But it was always kind of just on. So this marks the first time I can actually be bothered to check it out. Let's just hope it's not as terrible as it looks.
Who's the dopest rapper? Oh yeah, that's me. Stop. Funk time.
And in a shocking surprise to absolutely nobody. Yeah, so it's just as immature as the books, which have an arse as the front cover. Well, at least it's faithful to the source material.
It's like there are bees in my ears stabbing me with rusty pitchforks.
Yeah, that about covers it. So in this episode, the protagonist and his butt friend have a video of them dancing filmed by my spirit animal, which is then posted online and reaches dude perfect levels of viral.
See, Eleanor? They love us.
They're paying you to stop.
Yeah, check it out. We got a stink zillion hits.
And it took them a minute to make a fart joke. In a world populated with sentient butts. 1 minute. Yeah, we're done here. It's a show called The Day My Butt Went Psycho. What did anyone expect? Okay, how about the Koala Brothers? You've probably seen these two before. Especially if you're Australian, you cunt. Can we please stand for the Australian national anthem?
If you're in trouble and you need someone to help you out, there's no need to whistle and there's no need to shout. Call the Koala Brothers, call the Koala Brothers, call the
This show was my shit. Doesn't get more Australian than a cartoon about two koalas flying a plane around the outback and helping out a bunch of Aussie animals. Yeah, this show was amazing. So anyway, it stars 2 World War II soldiers defending Australia against Nazi forces. This is a little different from what I remember. The characters in the show have some of the most Aussie names you could possibly think of. Frank, Buster, Mitzi, Ned, Steve Irwin. One of the only things I can really say about this show that I never noticed as a kid is how incredibly Australian the voices sound.
They look pleased to see each other.
For the record, I've never met anyone in the entire country that actually sounds like that, but hey, maybe that's just me. Seriously though, Koala Brothers is great. Nothing too complex for a dumbass kid like me who just wanted to sit there and pick his nose while watching koalas fly around in a plane, but with enough of a warm and gentle atmosphere to enjoy all these years later. That brings back nice memories. Anyway, back to something completely demented. Up next are the Dukes of Broxstonia, the result of what I can only assume was a shitload of drugs. Even as a kid, this was one of those shows that just made me turn the TV off whenever it came on. The episodes only go for about 3 minutes, so they were always awkwardly slotted between the things that I actually wanted to watch, like The Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and Big Babies.
Oh, that show looks amazing.
It looked rubbish, Rocco. It's just 2 babies sat watching telly. It'll never take off.
Chill out.
It's doomed to fail.
The show is about rock trio Arge, Barge, and Marge Simpson as they, well actually, I don't know what the show's about. There's no dialogue, presumably because they blew their entire budget on drugs instead of voice actors. I literally couldn't make sense of what happened if I tried. Don't believe me? Well, here's a random episode. So they go to play a concert at an amusement park, but then one of them, probably Arj or some shit, buys a strength potion which turns him into the Hulk, and then he starts performing and his friends get angry, so he beats the shit out of them, so they try and replace him with a balloon, but then it turns out the balloon is sentient or something and can somehow press the pedal on the car, and they end up on a roller coaster and fucking Arj goes to catch them but then turns back and literally dies, and then the balloon is about to murder them before he gets popped and then they get thrown into space, and this was aired on national television. The Australian Jimmy Neutron without any of the meme material, Tracey McBean, is another one of those overused slice of life school shows, but what sets it apart from the crowd is that it's actually pretty cleverly written. Yeah, no, I'm serious. I mean, yeah, it's still made for 6-year-olds, but I was surprised at how well this one held up, if you can get past the voices, that is.
Everybody, here comes the spider!
I used to watch it all the time as a kid, and I'm glad for once I seem to have decent taste. Once.
Famous inventor.
I would give you a brief rundown of what the show's about, but the Wikipedia article has a synopsis that's longer than a frickin' movie script, so I'm just going to assume it's Jimmy Neutron, but set in Australia. The real highlight of the show are these two characters, though. Just watch, you'll see.
Fetch the ball!
Fang! Ball! Fang! Get fetch! Oh. Okay, Fang, just sit there and do nothing.
Yeah, don't do anything.
Yeah, good cat! Alright, just walk off stage then. Yeah, good cat.
It feels like the voice actors of these two just had an actual conversation between them, recorded it, and they just animated around it. Everyone else follows the script, but these two just do their thing.
Nice one, McConnelly's. I don't know who's cleverer, you or the cat.
I'm very funny, McBean.
Ha
Just remember what they say.
You remember?
He who laughs first is the guy who laughs before the guy who laughs second.
Nah, he who laughs last laughs loudest.
Look, just leave the talking to me, Jake.
Seriously, I could watch a whole show with these two, it's brilliant. And now time for a show that scared the absolute shit out of me, which I assume was the entire point. Figaro Pho, a terrifying, nightmarish animated series that follows the young Figaro Pho as each episode is dedicated to one of his many, many phobias, some that get way too specific. Fear of unfamiliar toilets? Fear of cactus? Fear of being stared at by a duck? What? The show doesn't have any dialogue, but unlike the crackheads of Broxstonia, it actually works to the show's advantage because it makes it so much spookier. Starting with the most basic one is arachnophobia. Surely they'll make it cute and cuddly since it's a kid's show, no? Oh, okay. What was that sound? What was that sound effect? You want kids to watch this? Okay, how about this one? It's about bodily odors. This should be good and not at all traumatizing. I mean, this isn't so bad, he's just on the bus. Honestly though, the real fear of this episode is the fact that this guy sat right next to him on an empty goddamn bus. Look at all the other seats literally anywhere. And that's enough of that forever, moving on. Okay, this one's not technically an Australian cartoon, but it is based off an Australian book series, which is objectively the greatest thing ever written, and was advertised for being an Aussie May. Yes, your day did just get worse, you're welcome. Anyway, I'm counting it, damn it. My video, my rules. Shut up, Dad. Deltora Quest sees the kingdom of Deltora taken over by the evil Shadow Lord, who is literally black cotton candy with eyes. And our protagonist, Leaf, joined by companions Barda and My Sexual Awakening as they collect the 7 gems of Deltora that are scattered throughout the kingdom. That brief overview does not do this show justice because the series is a fantasy fan's paradise, filled with some of the weirdest and scariest shit I've ever seen in a show. And it's brilliant. The anime did a really good job of the designs for the cast. One character is named Philly, one of Jasmine's companions, who in the show is nah, while in the book is I don't think the cartoon holds up as well as the books do, but it's still a really good time, and one of my personal favorite cartoons. And no one knows what it is, god damn it! Fucking everyone knows goddamn Pingu though. Newt yourself, you bitch! Anyway, I've talked about this series before, so I won't dwell any more on it. I just wanted to bring awareness to it, because there seems to be like 3 people on the entire planet that actually know what it is. Dennis and Gnasher was a show that a lot of people wanted to see in the last video, made clear by the number of comments I got about it. And you know why I didn't cover it? because I didn't want to subject myself to this agony. This is a show about Dennis and his dog named Gnasher. Let's see how long I can go without wanting to turn this off.
Bee's nappy cream, Dad's greasy hair oil, and Mum's silky face cream.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I'll pass. Thanks for watching, guys. Clearly, I missed the memo that every single Australian cartoon has to have a main character with the most annoying voice on the entire planet. Except you, Koala Brothers. You're perfect.
Perfect. Yay, let's go!
Holy shit!
Wait until I tell your father.
Pizza would be great, Mum.
What?
What's Dennis been up to now, Sergeant Slipper?
Well, he ran over my foot and...
Where was I going with this? I don't... Anyway, moving on. And finally, we look at Bananas in Pyjamas, a show even more iconic than the legendary Koala Brothers. Every Aussie kid grew up with the Bananas in Pyjamas, which was a pun someone made that went way too far. It's one of those classic childhood shows that I admire even to this day.
Bananas in pajamas are coming down the street.
It's a show about two bananas and they're in pajamas. What else do you want from it? But then they made a cartoon version of it, and it's not very good. Somehow they made the bananas look even more terrifying.
Bananas in pajamas.
No, it's just not the same.
Good morning, bananas.
Hi, Charlie. It's a lovely morning.
Do you need help with those boxes, bananas?
Nah, fuck off, you cunt. Bloody hell, mate.
It's just a few groceries from Rat's shop.
So in this episode, the bananas get given a banana buggy by this monkey guy, and one of the bananas says pajama-rific.
Pajama-rific?
Because creativity is not this show's strong suit. And then he shows them all the cars' gadgets like it's a freaking James Bond movie.
And on the other side is the horn.
Banana-rama?
What the fuck? So then they drive around town terrorizing the main cast. They run into Rat, a character whose name is Rat because he is a rat. Yes, and you see his name is Dog because he is a dog. Honestly, I have no idea what goes through the writer's head. This is a show about bananas wearing pajamas though, so... well, I guess that's that. Didn't find any ones as terrifying as Overworld, although we did come close. But hopefully I dragged at least some of you through a very troubled nostalgia trip. Believe me, it hurts me too. I'm proud of you, Australia. You don't make the best cartoons, but you did make the Koala Brothers. And for that, I will always love you. Oh wait, never mind.
Life was good on hot dog stand. Or 2 bugs with food to eat.
Still, not like we got the worst cartoons though.
Dewey, look!
Looks like someone was hiding here.
What?
It's a fatty substance secreted by the skin.
Yummy.